space.
Go. 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Good morning, everyone, and I hope you're doing well on, I want to say, a Tuesday morning, but I don't know what day it is of the week. I think since I've been back from Grenada, I'm totally lost all aspect of what day it is. But nevertheless, I'm Ray Patrick, and it's 11 o'clock-ish in the morning, and I'm here. I told you he'll be back, and he's back, man. He's back from his travels. He's back. And you also had a sick parent as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know that was something that we were praying about. But
Thank you.
you know, the people have been asking. One particular mom, and actually her son is with us on the program, was asking about when you're coming back. So you're back.
I'm
And
back.
I'm talking to Daryl and Daryl Harper. Daryl, say good morning to the folk.
Great morning, everyone.
Good. And
I know what day it is because I didn't get a chance to go to Grenada. So you know, like, Rangers flew in there to like, throw shade. The rest of us have been here. I was in Grenada. I don't know what day of the week it is anymore.
I think he's still in a mango coma.
Listen, guys. One of the great things is in life is humor. Amen. It helps us diffuse some of the things that we couldn't do that we wish we could have done. And so, Daryl, we did think about you while we were away. Because I think I received a couple messages from you while I was away, and I said I'm not going to answer because I'm in Grenada.
I didn't receive nothing from you. Like, no gifts, no mango, no pumpkin, nothing. That's all right.
I blame my son. He was with me on the journey.
Why'd you have to throw me on the bus?
Yeah, no problem. Anyway, Daryl is with us, and we're discussing all things finance. We did ask for some questions to come through. We have some from the young people that are here on that. We're doing a program for the summer with our young people. We also have a parent with us, Marsha, and I dragged her in here, and she looked very accomplished, like she was made for this moment.
You know, I'm very spontaneous.
Very
Spontaneous. So yes, drag me and you'll get me.
Okay, great. We picked the right
Yes.
one.
Absolutely.
Picked the right one. Picked the right one. So, Daryl, other than being upset about Grenada, how are things with you?
I am winning and never losing, my brother. I think it's phenomenal.
That's good. It's important, guys, that Daryl is here because he's a winner and not a loser.
Absolutely.
And we want to be on the winning side. Daryl, tell us a bit about you. You run an academy. You do different courses.
Yes.
Give folk a little bit of the background. Those who don't know who you are.
So I've been teaching finance now for over 19 years. I'm a certified financial education instructor. So I work with individuals. I speak in corporate organizations, doing a lot of stuff on financial well-being and resilience, speaking with individuals, parents, single mums, single dads on finance, and just helping them to plan and move from wherever they are now to wherever it is they want to be. I've got my own college as well, where we can run up to 3,000 courses. We've got certified financial courses. We run a lot of stuff on teaching and training, and also a director of 2 CICs, which are all about well-being.
Wow, that's a whole lot for one man. And he looks good. He don't look like he's struggling. He doesn't look old. He don't look gray. He doesn't.
There's a couple grays in here.
There's a couple grays.
Wisdom hairs. I call them.
Yeah. Well, when you get to my age, you're gonna be more than a couple. So enjoy the couple. Amen. Enjoy the couple.
Yes.
But listen, let's get stuck in. If you're listening out there and you'd like to participate, we are live on YouTube. And that's Adventist Radio London, and you can send us a message of any kind in the comments, and we will definitely get that and ask Daryl any questions. Or if you want to just make a comment, or if you're just upset, if you want to disagree, we'll take all of those as well. We don't shy away from those things. Secondly, if you'd like to send us a WhatsApp, we are on WhatsApp, and that's 0745 964 2898. 0745 964 2898. A lady from Balaam Church told me I say those numbers too quickly. And so I'm going to say it a third time, one for the Father, one for the Son, now one for the Holy Ghost. And 0745 964 2898. All right? And that's the way you can interact with us on WhatsApp today. Well, Daryl, the questions are here. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
You sure?
Born ready.
Born ready?
Born
Okay.
ready.
And we're going to ask Ray and Marsha to chip in where they want to, where they can, so that we have a nice, well-rounded discussion. So the first one is about kids.
Mhm.
And this came out of the pool of young people that we are with this week. We have a 3-week program that we're doing. And it's why should kids learn the value of money from a young age? Down?
There's that. It brings me back. You know what? The first thing I think of is that scripture says, "As a child, teach a child the way to go.
Right.
As they grow older, they never depart."
Right.
I was blessed that I've got an auntie that was in finance. She was an accountant,
Mm-hmm.
and she taught me to save from a very, very young age.
Okay.
I don't even remember the NatWest pigs.
Yes.
Yeah, so she taught me. Actually, funny, she messaged me about
Piggy
those this
bank.
week. Yeah, because they're worth quite a bit of money now.
Yeah.
And she just taught me to just constantly put money into these NatWest pigs, and that got me into the habit of saving from when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a habit that I've always had. Now, initially, I was just saving. I didn't know about investing or any of those things, but she gave me the solid foundation that has allowed me to be able to do certain things, make certain choices, have more opportunities. So I think it's key to learn, because the challenge is most of us are never taught about money in school.
Right.
We learn about money through the school of hard knocks, where we make mistakes, and hope that we're going to get better. But typically, I've got clients that, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and still making bad financial decisions,
Yeah.
not because they're a failure, just because of lack of knowledge, support, guidance, or feeling confident enough to ask for help. So I think once you've got that ingrained in you from a young age about the importance of saving, investing, business, it's very hard for you to move away from that, because it just becomes a part of your characteristic and your behavior, and just a natural habit. So it's like brushing your teeth. If you're taught how to brush your teeth when you're young, you continue to do it, hopefully. I don't want to make an assumption,
I like
but
that.
hopefully.
You're right on that.
Right? So if you teach people how to save from a younger age, hopefully they'll continue to do that throughout their life, because it's just a part of their being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you say that. You talked about brushing your teeth. There was a young man, he was in year 8 when he came to the school that I was teaching at, and he couldn't tie his shoelaces. And so I was in shock, and the other children were in shock because he couldn't tie his shoelaces. So one of the children piped up and asked a question, and that is, didn't your parents teach you when you were younger how to tie your shoelaces? Well, of course, he's grown up in an era where a lot of kids don't tie shoelaces. They tuck them in the sides of the thing. So he's well dressed, he looks very smart.
Yeah.
But his shoelace had come out, and he was doing PE at the time, and I was worried about him tripping over. And that's why the whole thing came about. But when the young person said that to him, I was like, wow, there are things that we need to teach children from their youth, from their childhood, I should say, infancy, so that they'll be able to carry on as they go along. And I think that's what came to mind when I saw the question. Marshall Jr., any comments?
Yeah, because as Darren mentioned, Daryl mentioned from from a child. I remember growing up in Jamaica, we used to have like our little piggy banks that we would save in. And at some point, when it's at a certain amount, we would either go to a credit union or this post office saving thing, and so from then, I remember, getting little pocket money. I was always a saver.
Really?
I've always been looking back, I've always been a saver.
Wow.
But I'm so glad I'm in this crowd today among, in this environment now, because my problem is investing.
Okay. We're going to come to that.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
stick a
the
pin.
saving, yes, I'm very, very good at that. I'm trying to teach my son how to do that, but sweets and the little things that really entices them drains him.
Yeah. We're going to come to investment.
But it's interesting that Marsha said that was something she was taught from when she was young, and she just said, I've always been a saver, because that was just part of the culture that you was in, the environment that you was in, and now your son's exposed to different things that you probably weren't exposed to in Jamaica.
Right.
Like we had to say that every mickle makes a muckle.
Exactly.
So he's exposed to so many other things. There's so much other noise around that's grabbing his attention. The adverts on TV, spend money here, do this. But you were probably seeing all of that stuff.
No,
when you was in
because we
Jamaica at the
had
time.
the outdoors
Yeah.
to play. Summertime we go find fruits, and there's always something to keep us
Yeah.
going. For us, spending, it has to be like, okay, summertime, whatever fun fair is going on, so you can go there and get your little treats. Or for Christmas time, grand market.
Yeah.
So you have your money or whatever you have. Mommy or whoever it is would top you up with whatever you have. So you're trying to save because you want to have the most
Yeah.
money, because you know what you want the most balloons, or you want the best slinky or whatever is going, when the time comes. So yeah.
Purposeful saving.
Yeah.
Yes.
So saving for a purpose. I always say every
Yes.
pound has a purpose and every penny has a job.
Right.
So you had a purpose for, I'm saving towards X, I'm saving towards Y,
Right.
and then you just had the habits that supported the goal.
Right.
Ray, what are you thinking?
I'm just thinking that like it's extremely important to learn from a young age, not only especially nowadays, because I don't know if you've heard it, but I've heard this mentality of well, this is the way it's always been done, but finance is one of the things where you can actually learn these things. So there are people who had the old mindset, and they were brought up from struggle or whatever the situation is. It's easy to break these habits as long as you're willing to put in the work to teach your children. And for me, it's like, I want my kids to have a better life than I did.
Yeah.
And so my dad wanted the same for me. And so I need to now get these skills and pass it on, even if I learned it late, even if, I have the power to actually do that. And so it's not like trying to break any other thing, that's hereditary. You can actually take modules, take courses, all the things that you offer, and break these habits so that your future generations can have something.
Yeah, love
And
that.
that's
And you're making me think as well, because there's two things that came to my mind. You said, this is how it's always been done. But if we always thought like that, nothing would ever change.
exactly
Right.
Blockbusters was a perfect example. If we always stuck to Blockbuster, there'll be no Netflix and streaming and what have you.
Yeah.
Blockbusters never changed, and then they went out of business. So it's the same, like, you have to be prepared to adjust and adapt to what's happening in the world right now. The other thing that came to mind is the challenge for a lot of parents is you have to understand your actions will always speak louder than your words.
Right.
So it's one thing to tell your children to do A, B, C, and D, but if they're seeing you doing something completely different, your actions always speak louder. So you have to show them what investing looks like. You have to show them what saving looks like. You have to show them what generating extra income looks like via your actions, not just your words. Yeah, so it's doing the same thing. Yes, I've got the words, but I'm also backing it up with what I do with my deeds.
Yeah. And you're right, because children, they respond to what they see.
Yeah.
They're the great mimickers, right?
Absolutely.
So if
100%.
they see you do, and they don't even realize that they're doing it half the time.
The good and the bad.
How many times people say you're just like your dad, or and you didn't realize you're trying your hardest to go the opposite direction. You know what I mean? But it's just like your dad. If you got an ex-wife or ex-missus, you're gonna hear that regularly.
Don't
just
do
like
what
your
I
dad.
did.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it, so I don't have to do anything different. Cause I'm just doing what I see.
It's funny enough, sometimes Tara will call me out. But you do it.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Don't do as I say. Do as I don't do as I do. Do as I say.
Exactly. Listen, the other question the young people ask, and before I get to your investment point, is crypto. They're hearing a lot of conversation around crypto. And even Donald Trump in the United States of America has decided that that's going to be his little thing, crypto. But the crypto man is in prison. Crypto. Is crypto real, or is it just pie in the sky? Darryl.
This one's a hard one, because I don't personally invest in crypto. I'm not telling anyone not to do it. So because I don't do it, I my mindset is very different. I suppose because I invest in things that I understand to a certain degree. Do I know people that have made a lot of money on crypto? Yes. Do I know people that have lost a lot of money on crypto?
Yeah.
Yes, because that's because of the volatility of the market. So is it real? Yes. But I think you got to have a very thick skin to do it personally, and you have to be prepared to lose the money. Like with any investment, I think when it comes to investing, I'm probably going to touch on some of the things I'll say to you, Marsha. I think if you're going to do it properly, you're going to, most professionals will tell you have to do a risk profile. Where they'll ask you a series of questions. Okay. Like, for example, I'll ask you all in here. If you had X amount of money in the stock market and you heard that the stock market was crashing, what would you do? Would you take all your money out and run? Would you leave some of your money in but take some of it out? Would you take all of the money out, or would you just have an emotional breakdown? What would you do? Take it all out?
I'm taking it out.
So you take it out?
Yeah, because, that's a panic mode right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it will put me, for me personally, I'm going to be in two minds. Do I leave a half in just in case, things kind of bounce back up?
Mm.
Or, so it's a hard one
5
to...
seconds, Marsha.
Okay,
5.
oh,
You gotta make a decision.
well, that's it. I'll probably go into panic and do nothing.
Okay, so you're leaving it in?
I'll just probably panic and leave it in.
Leave it in.
Okay.
Because they always say a confused mind says no, so confused mind will just stop stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
So you're leaving it in just through panic, right? Because you take it too long to decide, so you're just like, oh shoot, it's there.
It's there.
You're taking it all out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking half.
You're taking half.
I'm taking half and then seeing what I can do with the other half, or leaving it in to see if it appreciates.
Okay. So you've all said something different.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to tell you what the right answer is?
Yeah.
Whatever you just said. Do you understand what I mean? Whatever you just said is right for you.
Yeah.
So when you do a risk profile, they'll ask you a series of questions like that, and determine based on what you say. It will say, okay, based on your tolerance to loss and your attitude to risk, your money should go here. That could be government bonds, that could be investments, or what have you, or stocks and shares. Because ultimately, what everyone wants is they want to live what I call a slot machine life. They want to put in as little as possible, but get out as much as they can.
Yeah.
Or they see this person making X amount, and you're thinking, but I'm not making the same rate of return. That's because you don't have the same attitude to loss,
right,
and the same risk profile.
Right.
So when I first did my risk profile, it said I was out of 10. It said I was like a 5. Now when I do it, I'm an 8 or 9.
Okay.
The difference is I started investing back in, I know exactly when, August 2008.
Okay.
What's happened since August 2008? I've got more knowledge, I've got more experience, and I've seen my money grow. So my level of understanding now is I can look at an investment and go, it goes down and go, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I don't care because I know what's likely to happen and because I diversify. So when it comes to things like crypto, it's about what's your attitude. Is it like my thing would be, I've got £500, I've got £1,000, I'm gonna throw it there. If I lose it, I lose it.
Yeah.
I don't care. If I make something of it, I make something of it. But I'm not gonna put my retirement on it personally. I'm not to say that you shouldn't. I just don't have enough knowledge about it, and I don't care about it enough. I've got my money in other things that I understand to a degree.
So Marsha said you'd leave it in.
Yes, because then panic mode sets in.
I'm curious at that answer though.
Yeah, because then leaving it there or taking it out, and depending on circumstances, you might take it out and blow it.
Yeah, that's true.
As well.
But if everything is
You
falling,
wouldn't though. You wouldn't because you just said you're a saver.
No, I'm a
So
saver.
it's not it's not in your mentality
And
for
to
you to
blow
blow
it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Marsha.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
But then, so like I say, okay, so the other scenario would have been take half and, leave the other half.
Yeah.
So.
I would take 2/3.
Well, yeah.
Marsha's still confused. She don't know what she did.
I know, exactly.
Marsha's still, I don't know.
Exactly.
I would hate you to be on a game show with me and you're on my team. You're my team.
No. You see, when I'm sure, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You can't beat me on surety.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
when you're talking money and when you think about loss, and as you've said earlier, depending on how you can manage mentally losing, that's where that comes in.
And I think there's other things you touched on. It's about what is the goal for the money? What's the time horizon and where am I at in my life journey? Like if I'm in my early 20s, I can potentially afford to lose the money. I've got all this time to make it back. But if I'm in my late 50s, early 60s, I don't have as much time on the clock.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want my money to be in something a little bit safer.
Right.
So I think there's all these other things you have to consider.
Yeah.
The time horizon, what's the goal? So I've got money in investments, but the plan is for me to never touch that money and just live off the interest.
Right.
And eventually that money will pass over to as a legacy to children,
Yeah.
and they'll live off the capital,
Right.
off the
Yeah.
interest. You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't look at my investments that often because I know that they're not for now.
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
understand what I mean?
Right. And I suppose that's why it's called investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
not an outing. It's not an
Yeah.
outing. Anything you going to say? 50-50? You
Yeah.
want to leave 50 in and take 50 out?
I mean, because the scenario is if I see it dropping drastically, then I'm gonna try and do what you said before, because you said that your portfolio is diversified. So I'm gonna try and take out half and do something else with that, but then still see if the market goes up. Because the thing about the market is, if it goes down, it's probably over time, it's probably gonna go back up.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the nervousness was setting in. I would want to take everything, but I would probably just half and half and see if I can do something different with the other half.
So based on what you just said then,
Yeah,
you just said it's probably going to go back up.
yeah.
So why would you not throw more money in?
Because in my mind, the circumstance that I was in was that I would need a portion of that. So for me, if I need a portion of it, then I take a portion and leave what I don't need. Because one of the things that you touched on is you should probably only invest things that you're okay with losing. And so at the time, in my mind, when the scenario was happening, I wasn't okay with losing all of it. And so I took the portion just to make sure I can either keep it or do something else with it, and then just see what the market does with the other half. And that's it's just where my mind went at the time. Like that's literally.
And like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. It's about what's right for the individual.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like you automatically put yourself in a place where, boy, I'm going to need half the money. But if your situation was different, you didn't need the money, would you throw more in? I'm not telling you should. Would you?
I probably wouldn't throw more in, but I would probably wait because I have done a little bit of investing, and sometimes when you wait, it comes back, and then you can decide what to do when it comes back, or you can decide to keep it in. And there's long-term investments, short-term investments, and as you said, risk is a big thing, and I don't take risks. So that's one thing, and it's a knowledge thing as well.
Absolutely.
Because as you said, the more you know, the more you're okay with the risk, because it doesn't feel like a risk to you, because you know what to do if something happens. It's calculated risk. Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of that and the risk, I remember a few years ago when Wall Street crashed and the whole decline and everything. I knew someone who had like good investment, and then he saw his money dropping, so he just went and cleared everything out. A few months later, he was like, "I think I made a wrong decision," because at least I think whatever minuscule amount that was left, he was like, "This is like nothing." Whereas if he had just say left it, he would have probably seen more coming on it.
It's, I suppose, to simplify it, right? It's kind of like this then. Have you ever bought fruit from the market? When's the best time to buy fruit? In the beginning, when the market first opens, or at the end of the day?
When the market first opens.
Reckon?
The end of the day, you get more for your money.
Right, this I know you go to the market. You don't go to the market. You go straight Tesco's or Lidl.
Yeah.
That's why you said that.
I just assumed.
Expose yourself there. Right. So you go to the end of the day. Why? You just said. Because you get more for your money. They typically sell the stuff cheaper because they want to get rid of it. So it's like you think investors kind of like the same. That I get to buy it. So let's say you're going to sell the oranges. You bought an orange for 50p in the beginning of the day, and you decide that you're going to sell it, and you're going to sell it for £1.
Yeah.
Right? You come there at the end of the day, you buy the same orange, but you buy it for 25p, and you're going to sell it for £1. Who makes the most money?
I do.
You do.
Yeah.
Same orange, but you bought it when the price was low. You could sell it for it when it was high. You bought it when the price was higher. You still made the profit, but just not as much.
Right.
So I think if you think of it like that I'm buying stocks when the price is low, so then I get to capitalize on it when it goes high.
Okay.
And that's not investment advice. That's just how you think
Yeah.
about it.
Mm.
But that comes with knowledge and experience and seeing your money grow. And once you start seeing your money grow, you're like, okay, I feel more comfortable doing it. Or I've taken out my initial capital, so no matter what, I've got my money back.
Yeah.
And everything else after that is
Just
profit.
Profit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very.
Interesting. So now investments. You said you wanted
Yes.
some help along those lines.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Because I'm good at saving,
Mhm.
and the money's just sitting there in the bank, and it's not much interest that grows on the money.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure if it was in an investment, I'm sure it would have been doing better.
Mm.
But my fear is, like we've touched on before,
the risk
the risk.
of losing. Mhm.
And as a single parent, I'd rather know that I have this amount sitting there. It's growing, but not as much as I would have loved it,
Right.
liked it to grow. But at least I know it's there.
Mm.
How do I navigate that?
So some of the stuff
Yeah.
I said before, by doing a risk profile and those things, so then you know that your money's going into a place that suits your investment personality. There's other things you have to do. I'm not going to ask you to answer these questions publicly, but there's certain things you have to make sure you have in place first, right? So, i.e., have I got no debt, right? Because it doesn't make sense that if I've got credit card debts at 24% on the credit card debt, but I'm going to invest money and the stock market averages like 9% per year, 7% after inflation, somewhere between 7 and 9% per year. There's no point me paying credit cards at 24% and my investments are at 7-9%. Doesn't make sense.
Right.
Clear the debt, right? So that's the first thing. Have I got no debt or really low debt or no interest? Have I got an emergency fund? Like, have I got enough money that I can sustain myself for the next, I would say 12 months. Some people say 3 to 6. I'm more like have 12 months because when I escaped from Babylon, when I left my job, I called. Sorry.
You know where you were.
So when I escaped from Babylon and left my job and went into business, I had 2.5 years worth of money saved. So no matter what, I knew that my bills, mortgage, food, car, all of that was covered if I didn't work for the next 2.5 years. It's a nice space to be. It didn't happen overnight. That was a process. So the first thing is asking yourself, do I have enough money to sustain myself and my lifestyle as it currently stands for the next 6 to 12 months?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
If the answer is no, investing may not be for you at this moment in time. Yeah.
Okay.
If I've got at least 3 months, I could maybe invest £50, £100 a month, and then the rest of it, I'm gonna keep building my emergency fund.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's other things. What other things do you have in place? What are we investing for?
Right.
Like, what's the purpose? Is it for my retirement? Is it for my children's education? Is it because you've got to be thinking 5 years plus when it comes to investing? Is it am I investing towards buying land abroad?
Well.
Yeah, that type of stuff. So I think you've got to get all your ducks in a row because everyone wants to jump on. Most people want to jump on investments because that's the sexy side of it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Everyone hears about it, but most people I sit down with, and I've been doing this for 19 plus years, they're not in a position to invest yet. They want to, but they haven't got everything else. Emergency fund, the right saving pots, the right mindset, attitude yet. So they have to build towards it so they feel comfortable doing it. I'm not saying that's not your situation.
Yeah. No.
I'd have
I
to
get
know
you.
more.
Funny enough, last week, and it could have been like a week today. No, it's not a week. But however, I was speaking to a friend and we were discussing investment, to be honest, and we were talking about like house or stuff like that, and then as you mentioned, the emergency fund, and I was like, okay, so I don't really wanna. I'm questioning, should I invest my emergency fund? And
You see my head?
it was like
For those of you listening, my head is going
no, right, because I was like, okay, say worst case scenario, something happens and I have to travel home, and the response was like, don't worry about that, because you'll be surprised with the community that you're in how people would chip in together. But the Marsha here is a self-reliant person, not relying on someone chipping in or people chipping in to help me out or to back me up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather.
I'm not relying on
So,
GoFundMe to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'm not relying
Exactly.
on GoFundMe for my future and to pay for my emergencies. It's like for me, I'm not saying your friend is wrong. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen in your community. What I'm saying is, for me, every individual person has to take responsibility for
Right.
making sure that they've got things in place to make sure this emergency is covered, this doodad is covered, this that. No matter what happens, I've taken responsibility to ensure that my life is going to be okay. I
Okay.
can't expect to go to Ray Jr. and go, yo, Ray, listen, I've got this emergency happening. I don't know what's going on in Ray's life.
Exactly, and that's
Do you know what I mean?
always
So
my...
now I've got to ask Ray and I've got to ask Daryl, I've got to ask Ray
Yeah.
Senior. We all got our own stuff going on, our own
Right.
dramas going on, our own things, and then you come to us. No. Sort your stuff out.
Right.
Do you know what
No,
I mean?
it makes sense because there was a spot.
Because there's an assumption that the community is going to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at what cost? Because now I've given you something and now I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, like you said, you should only be investing things that you're comfortable in losing. The fact that you call it an emergency fund means that you're not comfortable with losing.
Yeah.
Right.
So you shouldn't invest that.
Mm.
It's good. As he said, it's good to have the emergency fund and then build something that you're okay
Absolutely.
with investing,
Mm.
just in case. Either
Worst case
either
scenario.
you lose it or something happens and the money's locked away. Because some of the investments they'll lock your money away for the next 3 to 5 years. If something happens in between there and you need that, you've invested your emergency fund and you can't touch that for the next 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
Okay.
So, like, there's different variables to think about. But if it is an emergency fund, then no, I
Leave
wouldn't
it.
touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's not emergency, let's clarify for the listeners. Tire blows out on the car, something happens to the car. Boiler breaks down, medical emergency, job lost.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Rave, party, new outfit, something for sale. That does not
That's
count
not
as
an
an emergency.
emergency fund.
Right? That's not an emergency. The first four I said, once again, just for the listeners, one more, just in case you missed it, because you know when people got selective hearing.
Yeah.
Car breakdown, or tires blow out, boiler breakdown, medical emergency, job loss, furlough, COVID. Those things there are emergencies. Rave, party, sale, discount. None of those things qualify as an emergency. Holiday, not a discount. Sorry, like you might get people clock off the call, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing that came up was debt.
Mm-hmm.
And debt is a biggie, because whether there are things that I'm in debt to, I didn't even realize I was in debt to until the final letter comes, and I realize, hold on a second, when did this happen? And then you backtrack, and then you realize, hold on, wow, this was like 3 or 4 years ago, and now it's reached this amount. So debt is a real issue for the family, and of course our children were asking the question, can you clear debt quickly? Or how long does it take to clear debt, Daryl?
So it depends. So there's a couple
Okay.
of things you got to depends on how much debt have you got,
Okay.
how
How
much
much?
surplus income you've got, and where's your mindset at. So there's
Hold on,
a-
there are people in this world with surplus
Yeah.
income?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do
just
you know
check
what it is?
Just check
They have got surplus. The only problem is it's going on Netflix, eating out,
Oh, okay,
takeaway. Do
okay.
you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
It goes
yeah,
on
yeah.
all the other stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I know if I go through most people's spending budget, I'll find about £300 to £500.
Wow.
Overspend, they don't even realise they're doing.
Mm.
We have a
Nice.
lady that was just on our program, and she just saved £1,000 in the first 2 weeks of working with us that she wasn't doing.
Whoa.
So when I'm talking about their surplus, it's there. You just can't see it because you're emotionally attached to what you spend the money on sometimes, right? But I'll give you an example. I've got a client of mine that I work with that I've mentored since 2023. When she came to me, she had £31,000 worth of debt. 13 months later, £31,000 worth of debt was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, £31,000 worth of debt was gone, and she went on 2 holidays that year, and she got a mortgage for a house. So it wasn't like she suffered. Like
Yeah.
she went
Yeah.
on 2 holidays, right? I got another client. She did this before I met her, so I take no credit for this. Paid off 10 grand worth of debt in 6 months.
Okay.
We got another guy just paid off 40,000 in 18 months. Another lady paid off 13,000 in 12 months.
Where's your academy?
Yeah,
Right.
Right. So is it possible to pay it off a lot quicker? Yes, but there's different systems and strategies that you can use to do it. Like people talk about snowball and avalanche system. There's loads of others. But the first thing is about we need to assess like where you're at
Right.
first of all,
Right.
and then work out, okay, put a system and strategy in place that's going to work for you, because your winning formula, Ray Senior, could be Ray Junior's losing formula. Ray Junior's losing formula could be Marshall's winning formula. So what I'll say to Ray Junior would be different to what I say to Ray Senior, which would be different to what I say to Marshall, because we all have our own personalities. So the simple answer is, can you pay it off quicker? Yes, but there typically is going to need to be a system, a strategy. Also, the big thing is some sort of behavior change, because there was a behavior that got you into the debt.
Yep.
There needs to be a behavior that needs to change to make sure you can get out of the debt. And that's the key thing, because you can have all the tools in the world. If you don't have the right behaviors, you're not going to use them.
Yeah, that's right. I like that. Now, guys, I want to move on, not from debt, but move on to this next point. And I'm trying to pull up my stuff. I need to read it.
Where's the lady from that said that you said the WhatsApp number too quickly? She needs to message in, you know. She said you say it too fast. Have you WhatsApp yet?
No. WhatsApp is quiet. Maybe she's at work. When I play the rerun, she'll get it. Yeah. No comments on there. But one of the things I want to mention, we talked about saving, talked about budgeting. There's a dilemma. How do I stop overspending? And that's a real question. In that, every month, and I think you mentioned it before, you know, you could have all the good intentions in the world. You know, every month you know what you're doing is wrong. You talked about your son and the sweets and all that. You know what you're doing is wrong. But you just got this like a little addiction that you got going on, and you buy stuff that, you know, and you look at it afterwards. You know, some people I know, they literally at the end of the month they just want to buy something. Retail therapy, they want to buy something. They go and buy it, and then a week later they take the dress back or they take the suit back because they're like, I don't even need this. I don't know why I bought it. But how do we stop from overspending?
Okay. So there's a couple of things, because you can say, oh, you know, just do a budget and track your spending, and those are the practical things that I do encourage people to do because they work, right? But you've got to go to a step before that.
Okay.
Once again, most of us know we should budget. Most of us know that we should track our spend, but we just don't do it. Once again, behaviour is the challenge. First thing is you've got to acknowledge the fact that I'm overspending, right? Because a lot of people don't even acknowledge. They don't,
That's true.
so if you don't acknowledge it, you can't change what you don't acknowledge, right?
Admit.
And you also have to accept that you have whatever issue it is, retail therapy or what have you. The main reason is, so let's put aside the budgeting and the tracking and what have you, because you've got to have a desire to do that. The main reason why a lot of people will overspend, in my opinion and experience, is you don't have a desire for the money. So think of it like this. If someone's getting married, right? Let's say they're going to get married 18 months from now. The first thing they do is, obviously, after they propose and that stuff, they send out invitations to everyone. Right. So now you've publicly declared to everybody that you are getting married. You may not have the money for the wedding, but you've told everyone. Now, the one thing you don't want is the shame and embarrassment to message all of those people and say, listen, wedding's off, we don't quite have the money for it, busted and disgusting. You don't want to do all that. So then what happens is your behavior changes to support the goal that you have. So what happens is, I don't eat at fast food restaurants anymore. I don't go, I walk to work instead. I find ways to, I do overtime. I start finding ways to make more money, because we know that we need to get £20,000 by this date to make sure that the people can come to the wedding and we don't have to feel shame and embarrassed that people are eating KFC. That's not advertisement. It feels like it was, they're eating a bargain bucket. They're eating a bargain bucket at the wedding. So what happens is, when people have direction, they have a different behavior. People with direction have a different type of behavior. So when you know that actually this is the goal and this is where I'm heading towards. So for example, your son?
Yes.
How old is your son?
He's 13.
13, right? If you made the decision from the day he was born, and you might have done, and said, if he decides to go to university, I want to make sure that I've got £50,000, so when he gets to 18 years old, his university bills are covered, he never has to get into debt. And if he decides not to go to university, I know that his car's covered, deposit for his home covered and all that, and you're 100% committed to that, your behaviour around your money will be completely different. because you know that this money is for my son's education, and anytime I spend money in this fast food restaurant and I spend money on clothes that I don't need, I'm stealing money for my son's future.
Wow.
You understand what I mean?
That is deep.
You'd be completely different.
Yeah.
So you can talk about all the other tools, and they do work 100%. But if you don't have a desire and a goal for the money, you will continuously overspend, because it's like, I've got nothing else to do with the money, so why don't I spend it? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I say it's deeper than just the tools
Yeah.
and the techniques.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the you mentioned goal, you also mentioned target, destiny, and I think if those things are not in place, then you will always be spending.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like when we were going to Grenada. I hate to bring it up again. We knew we were
Where did
going.
you go? Where did you go?
Huh?
Where did you go?
Where?
Yeah.
Grenada.
Oh, you went Grenada.
The island of
I
spice.
didn't even hear you mention it. It's the first time I've heard you mention it.
Did you hear that? Island of Spice. Did you remember Spice?
I did. I gave a lot away yesterday. I took some to a friend of mine, and but we have a little bit left.
Oh, lovely.
Because you know it's
And some here today.
It's the nutmeg palace of the
Okay.
world. Yeah. But anyway, I was saying, but once we made up our minds that we were going to go, okay, then that made us not overspend.
Absolutely.
You know, I remember my son was saying he has his younger son has a birthday.
Yeah.
His daughter was graduating, and all in the same month, and we're going to Grenada. So those things made him have to check himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that he could meet all of those obligations. But if without going through it systematically like that, just spend as usual.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
And the good news is when we got to Grenada, and of course it was payday for me, so it wasn't too bad. But when we got to Grenada, it was a case of then I'm thinking, okay, when I come back, my car insurance is due. My car tax is due. So even though I'm spending over there, I'm not overspending. Because like you say, I've got these goals and these things to reach.
Exactly.
Without looking at it like that, I would just continue to spend without no recourse. And then, of course, if you have savings and you look and you see, man, my savings is depleting. So you say, man, next month I got to pick up. I got to get back on track. You know, and then you start to. But if you don't have those goals, you don't have those targets in place, then you just be willy-nilly about spending, and you'll end up probably overspending because you're spending on the wrong thing. Impulsive spending. Let's talk about that because that's what we're really talking about. Impulsive spending is normally when I overspend. You know, so aside from the target and the goals, Daryl, I'll get up and I say I'm walking through the mall. You know, no business walking through the mall, but it's just something to do on an afternoon. All of a sudden, Hugo Boss has got a sale on suits. I know it's the end of the month. I know that I ain't got money to do a whole lot else with, but here I am. Take the card out, and I'm going to spend me £150 and buy the suit. And then I buy the suit, come home, Sabbath morning, about to put on the suit, and I'm thinking, man, I shouldn't have bought this suit. Look at my suits I got in the closet. You know, impulsive spending. Talk to that.
Okay, so two things on that, I think, and then I'll wait to go back to another point you made
Okay.
if I remember. Remove the temptation. You need to go away from the mall. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know, for example, I love cakes and I love cookies, right? I can't have them in my house though. 'Cause if I have cookies in my house, I'm gonna eat a whole pack. So I remove the temptation because I don't want to have to use up all my willpower to not go there. So I just don't go to the places where I know that I'm tempted by. Right? It's simple. Like remove the apps off your phone, like the Deliveroo and what have you. All those places that are taking your money, stealing your children's education, right? Remove them from your phone, right? So that's one thing. Also, just it's like simple things. Just delay your spend. Like wait 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, because what happens is when the emotions are high, intelligence is low. Right, so we spend on emotion, then we justify with logic,
and you
That's
can
the
make
sermon
make an excuse for any spend.
Absolutely. Right, it's because of this. I need it because of that. Because I don't have another pair of black shoes like this one, like these ones. So we'll justify it. That's why if you delay your spend for 7 days, I shared this on one of my programs. Like if you go in my Amazon account, I've got £15,000 worth of stuff sitting in my Amazon basket.
Same.
Yeah, 15,000. It's got to the point now, I didn't even know this happened, that when I add something else to my basket, it now says on there, your basket is full. We have to remove something so you can add this one.
Wow.
Right? Now, could I afford all those things in the basket? Absolutely. However, I preach what I practice. Some people practice what they preach, other people preach what they practice. They do it and they can talk about it with conviction, right?
I like it.
So
I like it.
I put stuff in my basket and I leave it there.
Mhm.
If after a week, a month, I'm not thinking about it, it just stays there.
Yeah.
It just stays there. So there's one thing is delay your spend, delay gratification.
I like that.
Remove the temptation as well. So don't go to the places that you know you're
Move,
tempted by.
move them all.
Move the mall. No, you move from the mall. The mall's not the problem, Ray. You're the problem, but you're also the solution. Right? Right? Remove the temptation, but it goes back to the other stuff. Like I said, as you mentioned, having the goals and what have you. I'm going to repeat something I said before. I forgot the other 2 points I was going to make. I said before, just in case anyone missed it. People with direction behave differently.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So I'll give you an example that's not to do with money. So my dad, I don't know if I've shared this on this platform before. So my dad's been diagnosed with cancer, right? They gave him 2 years to live 7 years ago.
Mercy.
They gave him 2 months to live and he's gone through that prognosis.
Wow.
They gave him 3 months to live. So every prognosis they've given him, he's overcome. They told him that he's going to have to go into a care home. He's actually going back to his home. Might be today actually.
That's beautiful.
Right? He was diagnosed with prostate cancer that was caught late, that turned into bone cancer, that turned into terminal cancer. Right? My dad, but my dad's like, he's different. Like he's one of the things he said to me when he was in the hospital the other day. He said, "Because I'm still fighting, they're fighting for me." Yeah, so he hasn't given up. So because he's still fighting, like the nurses and the doctors have not given up on him because they can see he's fighting for. He said, son, no, do what he said. He said, son, I'm fighting for my life because I'm fighting for my life. They can see me fighting. They're fighting for me. But my point was, he used to smoke.
Right.
Right. So he used to smoke. When he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, do you think he had to take a nicotine patch to stop smoking? Do you think he had to take the chewing gums? Do you think he went vaping? He stopped smoking immediately.
Yeah.
Why? Because he had direction.
Yeah.
He had his desire for life was more important than the nicotine hit. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. Love
His
it.
desire
Love
for
it.
life.
Love it.
So his behavior changed because he had direction. Now he got baptized in New York. He's now got a community group that they get together every day and they pray. Like he's turned into a serious evangelist. He's praying for people in the in the hospital.
Come on.
Right. So all of this stuff has happened.
Yeah. Direction.
Since he got diagnosed, because he has direction.
Yeah,
his
love it.
behavior changed.
Yeah.
And that's why I say same thing with money. When you have direction, your behavior changes to suit the direction of your desired destination.
Wow. Listen, guys, you got to stick a pin. You got to stick a pin, man. The hour went so quick. Wow. Daryl, I just want to give the folk the dates when you're going to be on next. Because I got them here.
You got them? Okay.
I think that's what you sent me here.
Whatever I said.
Okay. And because many of you asked the question, when is he coming back? And I hope today really touched somebody out there. I know I learned some things.
Listen,
and I'm going to try to move them on. No, I'm going to say
move away from the mall.
But I am going to preach what I practice. I like that. I thought that was brilliant. I'm going, we're going to do that. So on the 4th, which is today, is when we're there. The 8th now is the next time, 8th of September.
Yep.
Okay, is the next time Daryl's with us. The 6th of October, he's with us. The 3rd of November and the 1st of December.
Yep.
Those should be the first Tuesdays of each month. Okay, and Daryl will be with us at 11 o'clock in the a.m. Just before we leave the platform, Junior, we're running the thing with the young people over here. And you're going to look at finance with them. Yeah. Tell our listeners some of the things their children are missing, so they can come the next time.
I really think that children are missing financial literacy in schools, and I think it should be an elective. And so I've kind of picked this back up from where I used to do it years ago. So what we'll be learning is where money came from. How nothing's really changed in regards to money. It's just they've titled things different. But also so that they understand the background. So we'll be going through the cost of living, separating your needs from your wants, budgeting, also the job process, and things that you should probably have in place before you even get a job, or in your mind before you even get a job to help you on that financial journey, and understanding inflation. And I do want to touch on a little bit on credit and investment, but just very lightly at the end. But I think having a foundation, and I'm trying to do this for my kids as well, having that foundation to begin with will prevent them from making the same mistakes that I made, because I didn't have the information. So yeah, that's what we're going to touch on for the next 3 weeks.
Well, listen, guys, it is that time of the morning, it's about to be midday. Daryl, thank you so much for coming. I know you drive a long way to make these programs work, so thank you and your commitment in keeping up despite your dad's illness, and we'll continue to pray for him as well. And I hope we're learning from Daryl's dad, man. Just because someone tells you something doesn't mean you have to accept it. That's massive. What you just said there, it was massive. And we praise God for that. And that goes for finance too. Just because someone tells you something doesn't mean you have to accept it. Little becomes much when you place it in the Master's hands. Dr. Marsha, thank you.
No worries, my pleasure.
For coming, and of course, I hope you learned something about investment.
And vast amount.
A vast amount. Good. And of course, Ray Jr. is in finance himself. So thanks for coming in and stepping in and making this discussion flow the way it has. Let's have a word of prayer. Father, I suppose ultimately our direction is you. Our goal is you. Wanting to be more like you. And you wrote about money more than any other thing in the New Testament. And that's because money is vitally important to the kingdom of God and to the people that you've made us to be. Allow us to spend money wisely. And I pray that the advice given by Daryl today will be advice that will help us along our way. Thank you for being the God that cares enough to have programs like these. Be with every listener and be with their targets as far as goals and objectives for life. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. And amen. Guys, back to regular programming. Breath of Life is coming your way. You take care. God bless you. And here we go.